I do apologize if I am a little bit late. I was just running behind. I was just running a little bit behind schedule. I just got back from the shops and dinner, so I was running a little bit behind, but not too behind. So we're gonna get right into it. Evil Dead Burn recently got released July 10th, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was bee's knees, intense, terrifying, scary, traumatizing at times, absolutely intense as all get up. Not to mention brutal as all fuck. Absolutely brutal. Probably one of the most brutal ones I've seen in the franchise, apart from Evil Dead 2013 and Evil Dead Rise from 2023. But I actually think, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, Evil Dead Burn came off a lot nastier than Evil Dead Rise did, and that's just my opinion, because 2013 Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead, I think, was shockingly brilliant, absolutely brilliant, to the point where I actually prefer that over Rise. But Rise, for me, I absolutely loved Rise too, don't get me wrong, but I think Burn completely just trumps that. But Sebastian Vinacek has done an extremely awesome job with Evil Dead Burn, and he should be so proud of himself for making this film unapologetically scary as fuck. Brutal as all hell, and not to mention the character development, the story, the setting is absolutely bleak as all get up. Like, absolutely bleak, but it feels gritty, dirty. What more could you want from an Evil Dead film? And, you know, I've been seeing people's reviews left, right, and center that, you know, there's those reviews out there that say, oh, this film's too nasty, this film's too brutal, they should go back to being slapstick comedy. No. I think those people that have reviewed Evil Dead Burn and say that there needs to be more slapstick comedy in it, they don't get Evil Dead at all. They don't get the franchise. Because when I did a review for Evil Dead Burn, which is on my channel, check it out, I did say that Evil Dead Burn from 1981 is considered a video nasty for a very, very long time in the 80s. Considered a video nasty, got banned from several countries. Not to mention, it's the only one in the franchise that still holds an NC-17 rating to this day. To this day, brutal as all get up. I don't know how anyone can say the original Evil Dead is not brutal as fuck, because it is. And even Sam Raimi has said it as brutal as fuck. And then, of course, you get into Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 3, which is Army of Darkness. Hello, for that person who just got on. Army of Darkness is just more horror slapstick comedy. You know, number 2 had slapstick comedy in it as well, but it was still brutal. Number 3, Army of Darkness, was just more slapstick comedy horror. And, you know, a little bit cheesy. And then, of course, you have Ash vs. Evil Dead, which combines brutal horror, but with slapstick comedy. And I loved Ash vs. Evil Dead, the series. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved it. But I think, from my perspective, the slapstick comedy could only work so well for, you know, what it did. But with the new films, it brought it back to the whole brutal aspect of the franchise from the original, which I absolutely loved. And even Bruce Campbell has said himself that people that have taken over the franchise have made their film their own, set within the universe as well, that completely complements the original films, but makes them more horror, brutal, in your face. That's what it should be, right from the word get-go, with a little bit of comedy thrown in. Like I said in my review, told you she was a thief, from the grandma. So that was, you know, and I got, I'm still seeing out there all these, critics and that saying that Evil Dead has pretty much lost its luster. It's going nowhere. It's stale. It's, we got to get Ash Williams back. For all those critics out there and people that have, reviewed on YouTube, and I know some of them that I've watched, and their biggest complaint is there's no Ash Williams. Um, and I say to that, too bad, too bad. Ash Williams worked for, the 3 films that he was in, and then Ash versus Evil Dead. But to bring him back into the franchise now, like I said when I first went in and saw Evil Dead 2013, the cameo that he had at the end was absolutely mind blowing. They pulled Fede Alvarez did an amazing job with pulling that off, and that was great. But as Bruce Campbell has said, he's retired Ash Williams. He's moved on from that character. He said Ash Williams has done his thing, hence 3 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead. The big twist at the end leaves you on the biggest fucking cliffhanger I've seen in a TV series. And I will admit, I did want to see more of Ash Williams, and the way that it sets it all out. But he has retired the character, and he has even said with the new filmmakers that have come along, being Fede Alvarez, Lee Cronin, and now Sebastian Vanacek, so far, don't need Ash Williams. Ash Williams is not needed in the franchise. They're moving beyond Ash Williams now, and they're doing pretty much new protagonists, female protagonists, mind you, that absolutely kick ass and should deserve a place in horror history, especially in the Evil Dead universe, as some of the best female written Evil Dead characters out there, in my opinion. But I've just seen so many critics say that they really want Ash Williams back. It's not an Evil Dead film without Bruce Campbell. Well, actually, it's the 3 films that have come out so far have proved that you don't need Ash Williams anymore. You can move beyond Ash Williams. You can still include him in cameos and, little cheeky nods here and there. But I think he works completely. I think these films work without Ash Williams going forward. I really do. And all those complainers out there saying that the franchise has done, it's going nowhere, it's stale. Have you seen the last 2 films? Have you seen the recent one? Evil Dead Burn was absolutely breathtaking. I was so impressed with how everything was done, the cinematography, the practical effects, and I've even watched some of the behind the scenes with Sebastian Vanacek and the cast, and how they did everything practically, and it was absolutely amazing. And I praise directors like Sebastian Vanacek, Lee Cronin, and Fede Alvarez, who prefer practical effects over CGI any day. Although where CGI is needed, obviously certain parts you can't do practical. Hence, and a spoiler here for anyone that hasn't seen it, I implore you, if you haven't seen it, hop out of the chat now. If you have seen it, then you'll understand that there's towards the end of the film, there's the big bad that you see at the end, and he's basically made of fire and lava, pretty much lava, but fire as well. And a lot of people, especially critics, complained that the CGI was so noticeable in it. I watched that film and I could not tell whether it was CGI or practical. It was absolutely fine. The big bad was fine. It worked for the story. And people complained, no, they should have went with a Deadite person, blah, 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 blah. You should have went with this. I'm like, no, it worked for the story. If you pay close attention to the story and the surroundings as well, you can tell what the big bad is going to be, whether it be a big bad Deadite, a human, whatever. But Evil Dead Burn's villain right at the end was menacing, terrifying, just downright creepy, but also extremely terrifying for me, because the relentlessness that he has with going at the main character was just shocking. It was the violence in it was absolutely relentless, and I'm not gonna lie, it worked for the film. It absolutely works for the context of the film, and the gore in it was, oh my god, the gore was glorious. I absolutely loved the gory effects, but the story as well. And this is the first film in God since forever where it actually references and you see the Kandarian dagger. I mean, come on. It hasn't been done in any of the previous films, and it's been a long time since that was brought out. So it, you know, it's working its way through the rounds now, and it's bringing in other stuff from other films that are just like you've got to pay really close attention, because it connects to Fede Alvarez's 2013 Evil Dead. It connects to Evil Dead 2. It even has cheeky references and nods, but is also connected to Army of Darkness. And it's connected to the original Evil Dead film as well. But when I was watching the film, I could see there were quite a number of references to Fede Alvarez's 2013 and Evil Dead Rise. Again, spoiler, there's a big cameo right at the end, in the end credit scene, not the mid credit scene, but the end credit scene, where I was just like, holy shit, they kept that a secret for so long and no one even knew what it was until you saw the end credits. And let me tell you, that was a big shock, but a big, huge surprise going forward with the future of the franchise. That is a big, big clue as to where the franchise is going next. And I can't wait. But in terms of the next film in the franchise is Evil Dead Wrath, which comes out in 2028. So we have to wait, another complete whole year. But I'm hoping we at least see something with Evil Dead Wrath, probably in the first half of 2027, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. And I know it's a prequel and it's set in the 70s. I think it's set in 1972. So this one, again, is a huge departure from going forward. It's actually a prequel, but it's set in the 70s. So it's going to be interesting to see what characters they bring into the mold for this one. And one of my favorite actresses is actually in the prequel movie. So I'm excited about that. But there is some other things I wanted to talk about, especially with some of the characters that appeared in Evil Dead Burn. Now, we're going to talk about, I'm going to butcher the name here, I just know I am, but it's the Alice Price character, the main protagonist chick in it, played by Shuhelia Jacob. I have got to give her a huge, huge, big congratulations. She pulled off the protagonist role so well. The lead female, she's French, and I watched some of the behind the scenes that she struggled in some of it because she struggled with English a little bit, but she had training to make herself sound a lot better. And let me tell you, as grueling as her getting kicked around, punched, thrown around, just everything burned, poked, stabbed. It's just like absolutely crazy. I watched some of the behind the scenes of her, and she just said, going into this film, she wanted to make sure she did her best work, and God, she pulled off some of the best work I have seen from a protagonist. She was absolutely amazing in Evil Dead Burn. I could not believe the grueling stuff she went through. especially some of the other cast as well, obviously. But holy crap, for someone who's French and struggled with English, she sure when she was talking and stuff, you could hear it clearly in that, but she said with some of the stuff she couldn't understand, so she had to get training in order for the cast members to be able to hear her coherently. So I was just like, they all worked together, which was absolutely amazing, and that's what you want to see on a set, pretty much. Let's talk about Hunter Doohan as Joseph Price. He was a great character, but let me tell you, holy shit. Spoiler alert, people. For anyone that hasn't seen it, hop off now. For anyone that has, Joseph Price, what an absolute fucking coward of a character. Holy shit. I thought he was a real coward, but Hunter Doohan played an amazing role. He was great, but let me tell you, when he's on screen and he's getting kicked, punched, stabbed, and there's bodies flying everywhere, blood, all this sort of stuff, viscera, gore, holy shit. He had every opportunity to help, and he didn't, and it was just absolutely nuts that his character was just like, oh my god, he is such a coward, and I could not help going, oh my god, what are you doing? Especially that scene when him and his on-screen character girlfriend Thea, played by Lucienne Buchanan, the one where they're in the car with Joseph Price's dad, Edgar Price, that's his name, Edgar Price. Holy shit, that whole scene where they're in the car, holy shit, that was intense, terrifying, beyond crazy. The level of stunts that had to be required for that, the level of accuracy, the violent nature of them struggling with him turning into a deadite. It was just absolutely crazy, gory, just absolutely balls to the walls, nuts, that this level of crazy violence was displayed on screen, and just like it went to places that I didn't think it would go, especially in the whole car scene. The cinematography was spot on. Like it was just brilliantly shot. All I can really say is this whole movie was bleak, dirty, gritty, gross. It made you want to have a shower. Well, it made me want to have a shower. Seeing all the blood, guts, and just how dirty it made you feel watching it. And I absolutely loved every minute of it. I'm a huge horror fan. And Evil Dead Burn, like, seriously, hands down, one of my favorite movies this year. One of my favorite horror movies this year, apart from Scream 7. But I would have to say, if I had to pick between Scream 7 and Evil Dead Burn, hands down, Evil Dead Burn for me would come first, because Evil Dead Burn was that film for me that really amped up the incredibly well done violence, the nature behind all of it as well. It deals with generational trauma. It deals with betrayals. It deals with dark family secrets. It deals with how fucked up families are, how certain events in your life can change other people's perspective of you, how families can be torn apart by secrets, lies, deceit, you being better than this person. And it was all about generational trauma. If you look at the film, it's all about generational trauma and what a family will do to completely either save their own skin or protect their own family and protect others around them, or not, or be cowards. but it also, the family harbors dark secrets, regrets, all this sort of stuff. You really see the family dynamic in this film, and when the Deadites play on it, you can see that the people that aren't Deadites yet, the family that aren't Deadites yet, that they're struggling to even comprehend that this person doesn't, that you finally find out that when they're possessed, that, you never liked me at all, and this is how you thought of me and stuff like that. So it really plays on the human psyche as well, and that's what I really, really enjoyed about this film. As relentless and brutal as it is, I think the whole cast and crew did an amazing job, not to mention Sebastian Vanecek just completely blew it out of the water. He has done an absolutely amazing job. Sam Raimi had faith in him, and the fact that it was also executive produced by Lee Cronin and Fede Alvarez as well. They were executive producers. I mean, come on. That's got to mean something as well. They had faith that Sebastian Vanecek did an amazing job. And not to mention, this Evil Dead Burn was filmed in New Zealand, which, is where I come from, Australia's neighbour. So, I didn't even know that it was filmed in New Zealand until I watched some of the behind the scenes, and they filmed in New Zealand, which was amazing because I thought it was filmed in the US, but no, it's not. It was filmed in New Zealand. So that was another really awesome treat on top. That the Evil Dead film was done in New Zealand, and if I remember correctly, Evil Dead Rise was even filmed in New Zealand. So there you go. That's another good friggin' positive to come out of this. But I want to hear from anybody that has seen it. What do you guys think of it? What did you guys think of it? Because I've come across a lot of people that said they absolutely loved this film. It was one of the best ones they've seen, apart from Evil Dead Rise and Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead from 2013. But what did you guys think of it? Have you guys seen it? Have you not seen it? Would you go and see it again? I know I am, but I would, and I would have, but I'm just tied up with so much work right now, and family affairs that I have to sort out, appointment-wise and stuff like that. It's just hard for me to get away and actually go and see it again, which is nuts because I thought I'd be able to go and see it at least another 2-3 times, but nope. I saw it the one time and I was just itching. I was gnawing at my foot going, I have to go see it again, because I really want to pick up on all those little clues, little Easter eggs here and there. I've picked out some of them, but there apparently other people have picked out other Easter eggs, and I'm like, oh, now that you bring that up, I really need to go back and see that. So, it's an amazing film, and I think for all those people out there that haven't seen it, that really want to go and see it, I implore you, go and see it, because it's one of those films where you just have to witness it yourselves. It really does take you to some really dark places watching it, going, holy shit, I need to go and have a shower after this. I really need to take a scrub, because some of it is just beyond what I thought an R-rated film could really do. And Evil Dead Burn did not disappoint me at all. But please do email me if with any questions in regards to Evil Dead Burn. Tell me what you thought of it. You can message me on here that if you've seen it, if you haven't seen it. But my email, if anyone wants to privately email me with any questions regarding the movie or regarding any movie, any suggestions that you want me to review, like any horror movies that you guys have seen that I might not have seen or haven't heard of, and you want me to do a review for you, please do go ahead and email me. It's in my description It'll be in the description thing on my page, or I'll just tell you what it is now. It's noctisdarkbloom@gmail.com. But just to make sure, I will put it in the description of this video when I log off, so you will remember what my email is. But other than that, how long have I gone for so far? 25 minutes. I don't know if I have time because I've got to head out. What time is it? It's 8:30. I've got to head out at 9 o'clock. I've got an appointment that I've got to go to for work for an hour or so. So I might wrap it up here. But like I said, you feel free to email me. If anyone also wants to check out my Instagram or TikTok, you can message me on my TikTok as well. That's all in the description on my YouTube page. So go and check those out. Message me on there if you feel if you like as well. And I will, for anyone that wants to give me a questions, reviews, what we want me to review, I've got a hangout chat tomorrow at about 6:30 tomorrow. So if you guys want to get on there, and I can pick through some of the stuff that some questions, and I'll answer them on that live chat tomorrow. Feel free to do that. Other than that, I think I'm going to sign off in a few minutes and go and get my job that I need to get done. But other than that, Evil Dead Burn, everybody. Absolutely great film. $20 million budget. Already made $30 million. I know it was down below expectations and whatnot, but I think nowadays critics do nothing for films anymore. They really don't. I don't pay attention to what critics say. I go on what audience people say, and audience people tend to love it. I've seen some critics saying they really loved it, and other critics bashing the absolute hell out of it. But you know what? I don't really care, because this film, to me, part of it is going to succeed more so through Blu-rays, DVD sales, and what as well. I know it hasn't made a lot like Evil Dead Rise or Evil Dead 2013 did. I think 2013's Evil Dead made $99 million at the box office. Evil Dead Rise was $147 million by the end of its run, and this one so far, Evil Dead Burn, is $20 million budget, and it's made $30 million back so far. So it's still classified as a hit, and I think it's going to do better after it does its run and does DVD and whatnot. But the other thing too, which I think why a lot of people aren't going, why it's not pulling in a lot of money as well, is because a lot of it too, and I feel like this is a big thing for me, is with a lot of those critics out there, especially the high profile YouTubers on YouTube that go ahead and see this movie ahead of time. And this is just me. This is just my personal opinion. I think some of it too, I would say they either give it really good insight into the film, or they trash it. And I feel like too, with them, either saying it's not the best, blah, 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 people take that on and don't want to see it. And that's why I don't like critics. I don't like critics because they've either never seen the Evil Dead franchise, or they've never seen these particular films that other people have seen, that links to these films and whatnot. And I feel like a lot of people misjudge a film purely because it has a lot of gore in it, and they're labeled this film, it's too mean, it's too brutal, people aren't going to like it because it's a gore fest. It's pretty much brutal to be disgusting, to be over gross, and that's not the case. You just have to see it, people. Like, honestly, you have to get up there and see it for yourselves, and then go, yeah, that's a fair assumption. But I think this film will do great as it is, and I really hope it doesn't deter anybody in the future, who's a new director that wants to tackle the next film in the franchise. Because honestly, the Evil Dead films, all of them are absolutely fantastic. But these last three films, Evil Dead Rise, and Evil Dead Burn, have been some of the most amazing films I have seen. Amazing female protagonists, and how it continues the story in each one. And going forward, I really honestly cannot wait to see what this franchise pulls out even more, because the way that it's progressing its lore, it's starting to ramp up and get into some of the really friggin' nitty gritties of the mythology of the original movie, but also of the TV series Ash vs. Evil Dead, and linking into the Fede Alvarez, Lee Cronin, and Sebastian Vanacek films. Other than that, I cannot say too much more, other than you're just going to have to go and see it, people. Trust me, Evil Dead Burn is one of those films that'll stay with you long after the final end credits have rolled, and you see that incredibly well-deserved cameo. Because let me tell you, if he pulled that off and they kept that a secret for so damn long, I cannot wait to see how moving forward now this franchise is going to go. Because man, Evil Dead Burn has really, really, really set a bar. Really honestly has. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to sign off because I need to get myself ready to go and do a bit of work for the night. Possibly going to take me an hour or two. I will see you all tomorrow at 6:30 for a general chat, and we can chat more about Evil Dead and that, whatever, games, TV shows, whatever. Look forward to seeing you all then. Alright guys, take it easy and have a great night. Ciao.